Hi, and welcome to the podcast. My name is Michael Yon, and in this episode it is Knowing Your Heart. So, welcome, Kuntarkis, and to start, can you please explain what is the meaning of knowing your heart?
Michael, that is one of the most important subjects to me. It's very close to my heart. And when I first came here, before I go on about that when I first came here, when I woke up in hospital, Princess Alexandra Hospital, I looked around. I was trying to work out who I was. And my hand, the first thing it did went to my heart. And instantly when my hand touched my chest, my heart, I said, "Help me." And I suddenly realized who I was. The heart will never, ever let you down. The ego will let you down every time because it's just full of fear. So let's continue. Most of humanity would believe the heart is simply an organ that distributes blood by circulation throughout all blood vessels that run the entire system of the human body. In reality, Michael, the heart is the center of infinite knowledge, connected directly to your mind, to your soul. The heart is the most important chakra in your entire human body, be it physical or spiritual. If the heart chakra is out of balance or alignment, it means your human life is suffering physically, emotionally, even mentally. Your decisions in your life are then governed by your human ego, which is negative for you as an infinite being. The human ego only comes from logic, not like the heart, as it comes from your mind, your soul. So in answering your question, Michael, that's the reason to knowing your heart. It's a step up in self-consciousness, self-awareness.
Right. So then, what would be the signs that a person is not coming from the heart?
Yeah, I think everybody would like to know that one. Realize in this moment, the human individual holds the key to your own freedom, from the past to the present moment. It's like saying, if you feel pain, poverty, misery, hopelessness, stress, depression, anger, for whatever reason, you may even be feeling negative towards yourself or others. You alone, and I mean you alone, hold the power to change it now, if you truly want to. It's like saying, for any human being to want change, you need to come from your heart chakra, the center of all that is. Your heart is pure, unconditional love. When you become true to yourself and make the connection to your heart, you open up the energy that is infinite, that is eternal and everlasting.
That's an interesting answer. So, what does happen when an individual connects directly to their heart?
Your heart center is your direct link. Yes, it's the connection to your mind, your soul. When your heart chakra is fully open, your human life is fully balanced. Suddenly, you feel as if you, the human individual, can accomplish anything, and I mean anything. All that you feel negative towards yourself or others suddenly has no more meaning in your human life. Many human beings have been asking, is it true that we are here to learn about emotion? To a point, this is true. Emotion is a human word created by man alone over humanity's entire history. And human history has been a very negative existence in many aspects, created by negative emotions. If you, the human individual, can accept that human beings have been evolving on Mother Earth for the past 928,000 years, then you can also accept negative emotions have been haunting humanity also for the past 928,000 years. And that's a long time, Michael.
Gee, yeah. So, if what you just said is the case, then how do we begin to change?
Change. How many people have I spoken to about change? Change can only come about when the human individual makes the conscious decision in their human life to change the way they have been living, and to realize the way they have been living can no longer be a part of their human existence of life. Even though to learn and experience emotion is a very important part of becoming a fully conscious human being, one must also realize that to constantly live negative emotions is to constantly create negative outcomes from past incarnations, which in turn results in negative outcomes during an individual's present incarnation and will affect future incarnations as a human being, be it positive outcomes or negative outcomes. The choice is always the individual's.
Wow, so reincarnation would play a big part in how we each evolve through life.
Absolutely, Michael. Let's say if you as an individual believes in reincarnation, then you would also admit, you have lived many past lives as a human being. And if you study human history, you will come to the conclusion that humanity as a species has experienced a very negative past, which will and does shape your present and create your future, positively or negatively. Wars, violence, and self-created fears are a creation of the human ego's negative emotions, experienced from one lifetime to the next. It's like saying, if there is no forgiveness from an individual to another, those negative emotions will be carried over to the next human incarnation, and the next, until there is total forgiveness from the heart in unconditional love. The balance of life must be restored to bring forth a new beginning, a new level of consciousness, a new level of understanding. And this can only be achieved through experiencing the true meaning of forgiveness and compassion from the heart.
So in reality, the heart plays one of the biggest roles in the evolution of a civilization.
Absolutely, Michael, it does. Put it this way, the heart plays the most vital role in the evolution of humanity. Your direct connection to your heart as individuals will set each human being free from their own self-created negative past. When a human being makes the conscious decision to connect to their heart, they begin to resolve and dissolve the illusions of the human ego with unconditional love. One can then gain the understanding of having compassion for all life forms. With compassion, you open up your inner being, and this will give you the wisdom in all the decisions you will make throughout your human life.
I need to ask a question again so it clarifies my thoughts on the subject of knowing your heart. So why is the heart so much more important than, let's say, the human brain?
The human brain, yes. The human heart is the center of your beingness. It is your infinite connection to your true self, your mind, your soul. It holds far greater capacity, let's say, when it comes to data input than the human brain. The human brain is totally logical in its thinking, in all of its decisions, because it is being run by the human ego, whereas your human heart does not have an ego. It runs directly from your mind, your soul. So when your human being connects directly through unconditional love to their heart, they are connecting through their mind to their soul.
Then why is the soul so important to our development?
Yes. Your soul is the infinite spark of all that you are and have been and will become. It's like asking, who made my human body? There is only one answer. It was your soul that manifested firstly your spirit, then to give you physical life through the human birth system, meaning your spirit, it then entered your human body. That's when the first physical breath was taken in, and you as a human baby became a reality in your physical material world of matter. Without your infinite soul, you could not or would not exist in your physical world. Every single human being is on their own personal journey of self-awakening, self-discovery. Even though you each are all connected to each other as living energy, you are also free thinking individuals. You all have the same abilities to co-create your own reality. One of humanity's greatest downfalls is self-created fears, created from negative emotions. Many human beings hold on to the negative aspects of their life, and in many cases they constantly recreate the same negative emotions, life after life after life. Now, before we go on, one little thing I'll add to this. What I just said, and I'll just read this again and then I'll continue. Many human beings hold on to the negative aspects of their life, and in many cases, they constantly recreate the same negative emotions life after life after life. The reason they don't let go in their present physical life, and when they expire, they enter into a vibration where they recreate because they don't have the knowledge to understand how to release it. And they recreate the same circumstances even in spirit world, depending on what level of consciousness they exist within. And until they can learn to let go from it physically in that state of human life, or in spirit world, they just continue similar patterns, just different circumstances, Michael.
Yeah, this is something we've discussed in previous episodes. I think it's really interesting, and it should be an interest to everybody, because everybody has to go through the process of dying.
And letting go and moving on and reincarnating.
I was going to ask, why is it happening on such a large scale?
Because they have not been given the knowledge that there is another way of letting go of what is no longer needed. To truly feel at peace within yourself, every human being needs first to make a conscious decision that they do truly want to change, to truly realize that human ego is the enemy within, and there is no place for the human ego if you want to grow consciously. It is all your self-created fears, whatever they may be, that prevents you, the single individual, from wanting to make those changes. The human ego does not want change. The human ego only understands the negative aspects of your life. It's what creates all your wars and your violence, and it is your beliefs and your conditioning that holds you in your past, which is constantly creating your present and your future.
I know that we've spoken about this before, but how do we move forward, especially beyond ego?
Yes, to truly move forward and evolve as a conscious human being, you need to understand your personal self-created fears. Only by connecting to your heart center, which is unconditional love, will you begin to see the illusion that humanity has created through fears. And yes, it can be overwhelming to the individual who has chosen the path of enlightenment. And yes, there are teachers in your world that can guide you in a loving, compassionate, understanding way to make your journey a lot easier. What we each need to do is go out and seek those teachers of the heart, but always listen first to your own heart for truth and guidance. Many human beings also have asked which chakra centers of the human body are important. The answer is all of them. Through my own personal experiences, my being knows it is the heart chakra that will bring perfect balance to all life forms. From the heart chakra, you send forth the light to all other chakra centers throughout the entire human body. The heart is your love center, Michael. From there, all else comes into perfect harmony. Unconditional love is the key to everything, just like your greatest gift, imagination. Without it, there is no balance, only pain and confusion. And if we each are truly honest to ourselves, pain and confusion are conditions of negative emotions created from the illusion or illusions of the fearful human ego. Wherever unconditional love exists, Michael, you will always find the balance of a beautiful heart with the understanding to express compassion and wisdom in all that is done. Put aside all your fears, all your beliefs and conditioning. Put aside your judgments on others as well as yourself in what you believe to be the truth. If truth does not come from the heart, it simply is an idea of truth. Truth in its totality can only come from the heart, which is connected directly to your mind, your soul.
So, what you're saying, if you have no fear, then you can develop an open mind and heart.
Absolutely, Michael. I would agree with that 100%. That is exactly what I am expressing. It's like saying when every human being learns to listen without fear and judgment, that is when the heart begins the connection directly to your mind, your soul, which will never abandon you. It is you, the fearful human, that abandons your connection to your heart chakra because of humans' ego's fearful conditioning. The heart chakra will release you from your own created illusions of your human ego. It's like saying, and I say this all the time, remember, sisters and brothers of Mother Earth, as individuals, you do hold the key to your own freedom. You always have. And that's the truth, Michael.
I've known about you for several years that you have like a part of your consciousness is actually placed all the time almost on your heart. Can you explain that?
Yes, yes. A long time ago, well, actually, when I first woke up, as I said, in the Princess Alexandra Hospital where Roman left and I came in, I got up and I went to the toilet and I sort of leant up against the wall for a few moments. And I said to myself, what is making me walk? Because I felt so strange in this body, very different from being, say, in a Chiron body with full memory from one lifetime to the next. My immediate answer was my thought consciousness. Then I asked, well, what is my thought consciousness connected to? The answer was my heart. Then I said, well, what is the heart connected to? The instant answer came through my mind directly to your soul. From that moment on, I realized that to develop consciousness, especially thought consciousness, is the way to enlightenment. Now, I have heard so many people in the past say to me, hang on, we are all enlightened beings. Well, actually, that is not really true because we are ego beings and we have allowed ego to dominate us for probably over 800,000 years of humanity's reincarnation from one lifetime to the next. And the ego suddenly became more noticeable within its own self. And it suddenly realized that it actually had some form of power over its existence. That's why we have suffered with the most horrible, violent, bloody wars, killing our own brothers, our fathers, our sisters, our children, because of ego. And ego has evolved and has become supreme in our thinking. That is what we have to change because we are not coming from the heart, because we have disconnected from the heart consciously. And the spirit, the mind, the soul, it is fully aware of what has occurred. And it is allowing ego to grow. It's been growing for over 800,000 years.
So, how do we practically connect to our heart? What's that like? What can we do? Because it's starting with our thoughts, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Our intention.
Absolutely. Say this word to yourself right now, Michael. Just say this, and put your hand on your heart. And when people listen to this, please try it. Don't mock it. Try something before you mock it, and allow yourself to be true of heart. And when you put your hand, or one or two hands, over your heart, say this, so simple. I know of your existence, my heart. I know I have disconnected from you, but I want you to know I love you and I want to be a part of you. I want to learn how to feel from my heart, not my human ego. Because what my eyes have seen from lifetime to lifetime is absolutely mind fearful. And I want to change. I love my heart and I want to change. I love my heart. When you say, it doesn't matter how the words were formulated or what words you've said, but when you say those words with meaning, you are creating a thought consciousness in vibration. And that vibration resonates with your heart as you express those words. And it becomes your reality, your truth. And your heart feels it. And if you allow it by saying it many times over, different times throughout your life, you will believe it beyond all things, and you will suddenly feel like a cold chill or like a burst of energy going from the center of your heart around the topper part of your body, even below. And what's happening is the greatest gift, the greatest form of magic. You are reconnecting with the infinite spark of beingness that you are. And your heart is that beginning. And if you can go from that point and keep going, it will change your entire life, your entire way of thinking. And that's what's important. And that's how we evolve into higher forms of consciousness, physically and spiritually. Because being spiritual has got nothing, absolutely nothing to do with religion. Religion on this earth totally is man-made, and it has evolved in its own space and time. And if we are honest to ourselves and go back in the past and see what my eyes have seen, you would be horrified to see these people who are supposed to be so religious causing wars. It's unbelievable. But that's what's called fear. But the heart is your key to freedom. Michael.
The heart is the key. Yeah. And so obviously and easily people could take away from this that they could spend some time with their heart, like every day, just sitting and being conscious of that space.
Yes. When you learn, Michael, and I mean this with the most loving thoughts and the most loving heart, when you feel that you can love yourself unconditionally, you will spread that same love around. And others will be in your vibration and feel it and want to be a part of it. And in saying that, by loving yourself, you actually learn that you can love others. That's why I'm always saying, everything comes to your heart, through your mind, to your soul. And your soul is the most infinite in all things. And the more you touch your heart, the more you touch your soul.
And vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa. I'll give just a little example. I think I might have mentioned this in one of the podcasts, but let's say you go into your room and you sit and you either have your legs spread out for a little bit of stretching, or you fold them, or just out in front of you. And you put your hands on your heart and you say this: I realize that I am a part of my existence and a part of my heart. I want now to communicate with the highest essence of who I am, my soul. If you say that several times, and if nothing happens, don't be put off. Do it again and again and again and again. Even if you do it 1,000 times, you are teaching yourself. And one day, you're going to have the biggest surprise in your life. And it will change your life in how you see life itself. You will suddenly say something and there'll be an answer. And you'll think you're talking back to yourself. But what you'll feel around you is this tingling feeling. And if you open up your third eye through love, there will be a whitish energy all the way around you. And what has actually occurred, you are sitting directly inside your soul. And if you ask questions from your heart, your soul will speak directly back to you and answer anything that you ask. The reason I know it works, because I've done it, not just in this earthly lifetime that I exist within. I've done it many, 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 many times as a Nakaron, because it's what all the Nakaron people do. Every part of their day, they say, I love my heart, thank you. They walk through life, they do things, then suddenly they'll get that feeling. I love my heart, thank you. You know, people will think, oh, that sounds so stupid. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's what we want to believe that's important. And if we believe from our heart, then we are on the right track. If we believe from human ego, then we'll live the illusion. That's all we'll ever be, is an illusion.
And it's stating the obvious, but our intuition comes from our heart.
Absolutely, Michael. Absolutely.
Very good.
There is one little thing if there's nothing else you want to ask or say, there is one little, few little lines, about 3 or 4 little lines I just want to express.
Sure.
Okay. The life force that flows through my being is the same life force that flows through your being, and forevermore will be the same. I am that I am. May all of you as humanity be blessed in the light of creation's totality. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuntarkis. That was great. Knowing your heart. Yeah.
Knowing your heart. I mean, you ask yourself this question. Have you ever heard in your lifetime, you read it, or you've seen it on TV, or somebody expressed it to you? Do you know your heart?
Come to think of it, no.
That's right. But I say this, on Nakaras, sometimes they just say that out. It just comes out of their mouth. They say, do you know your heart? And they say, yes, I do. That's brilliant. And they'll start talking about the unbelievable things, whatever they may be. But they're not into trivialities of life. The Karans have never been like that. Right throughout the 27 million years of existence, they have always believed in conscious growth. And conscious growth, as I know it, is basically the most essential ingredients to grow into human beings that have feelings, no longer tied to the past negative emotions. And that's really important.
Sure, and like you've said in the previous episode, sometimes, I mean, a lot of people can just be going on the wheel around and around and around, just karma and payback and negative emotions life after life. And so, like you're saying, conscious evolution is the way out of all of that, is the way up, the way forward,
That's
the
very
way
true.
home.
That's very true. I mean, every civilization has to learn. That's very true. And every civilization has the right to learn in their own space and time. But you have to be able to go back in time and see the evolution of, say, let's say, humanity over the last 928,000 years. And what you see is constantly playing the same record, but different circumstances, different families. You know, the brother now is the sister, the father now is the daughter, and it just goes around and around and around. But there's no real conscious growth. It's the same circumstances, just looks different.
Wow. And so, like on Nakaris, for millions of years, they've been, if they have a child, they bring up this child with consciousness, with intention for knowing their heart straight
That's
away.
right. That's right. And the beauty, and that child is so fortunate, so lucky to be like that. I personally believe every child that is born wants to grow to be better. But the way we are as human parents, and that's not a falter, it's just the way it is. A lot of us grow up in a very hard, fearful world, or a world of poverty, or a world of negativity. And it's very hard to break free from that. So we pass on that same understanding, as I said in genetics, to our children. And they grow up and they rebel because they don't know why they're rebelling, but they're rebelling against all the conditioning that we've placed within them, because most of it is negative. And if we could learn to be better within ourselves, our life path would begin to change slowly, surely. And what we pass on would be more positive to our children. So we learn to know the meaning of knowing your heart. And that's a pretty big step in any evolution.
It's kind of the only one, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Like
Yeah.
other civilizations, for instance, the Nakarons, they're just getting better and better and doing it more and more, tuning into their heart, their mind, their soul.
Yes.
That's it. Only it's just that. It's more and more of that in a higher and higher frequency way.
That's right.
Right? Yeah.
But to be fair with humanity, right? They have been sort of dumped on. I have to admit that. I mean, you go back 928,000 years ago, when just over 87,000 Acarons were placed here. It's not that they weren't murderers or really bad Nakarons. They were just set in their own ways, and they didn't give a damn about anybody else. They just lived their ways, and they caused a lot of havoc, a lot of negativity. And eventually, the Chirons decided that, hey, we all want to grow, but these beings don't. And it's going to create a lot of negativity for a very, very, very long time. So they made the decision and put them on Earth. So if we look at humanity, we've had it pretty hard right through that evolution. We've had the Nakarons mixing with the Neanderthals, which changed their evolution. It changed the Nakarons' evolution that were put here. Then 274,000 years later, those beings were going over in their ships and they discovered Atlantis, which is a subject we're going to talk about in depth. So everything changed. Then we have aliens. A lot of negative aliens came down here to rape the earth of its minerals, especially gold and silver and a few other minerals, and minerals that would actually help them drive their ships and do whatever they have to do. And the locals were very easily misled. So the aliens could look like they were gods because they had this technology that could do things that they believed was amazing.
Miraculous.
Miraculous. And they went along with it. Then suddenly when these aliens were finished and they left, the humans that were there were suddenly lost. And it's like Atlantis. It had so much knowledge, so much enlightenment. But when they mixed with the other ones again, it changed everything. And eventually, when the massive volcanoes exploded and the ones that survived, they only had partial knowledge. And they became the Indians, the Aztecs, all those other civilizations. And they lost all that connection of goodness. And what came out more so was fear, beliefs, and conditioning. And then we have aliens that played with different races on this earth and created hybrids. And it just created another civilization. So it's been a pretty hard road when you really think about it.
Yeah, sure.
But we still have to take now personal responsibility by changing our thoughts and connecting to our heart of love. And we will discover love like we have never experienced it. And we will bring people into our lives with the same love because we're learning to deal with all our emotions and dissolving it into a nothingness. And that's important. And that's when humanity can totally change to more conscious beings.
For sure, for sure. It's the only path, isn't it?
It is the only path. We can keep living what we're doing, but nothing changes from generation to generation. Technology changes, but nothing else consciously.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, just before we end, Kuntarkis, I was wondering if you'd share something about knowing your heart in Sanskrit for us.
Yes. Just working out a nice phrase.
Just put you on the spot.
That's okay. Tunayama silososa kishisha anihua pontu malilishiha telishitu kisosa ama ama. To know your heart is to know yourself. To know yourself is to know others. To know others is to evolve. To evolve is to become enlightened. Love, love, love in all.
Thank you, Kuntarkis. So Ama is love?
Yes.
Ama. Beautiful.
Ama is love. Can I just say something too? If people want to, as I say, you normally always say this, but let me just say it this time, and if you want to follow on, if people want to know more about the existence of other life forms, of other ways of life, knowledge, then take the time to either go to my website, www.etc, then the word consciousness.com, where my books are there, where you can read about the different types of seminars that I've always run in the past, a lot of knowledge, but also have a listen to some of the other podcasts that Michael and I have put together. There is a lot of knowledge in all things, and if we are willing to open up and listen with our hearts, we will gain an understanding that will set us free. Now you may say, but I'm free. Well, that is your choice. But if you live in fear, in pain, in sickness, then you live in ego. But when you gain the knowledge and the knowing, it sets you free. Then what you feel is unconditional love, because you have the knowing of the heart. And that's where all truth lies. And when I said about the heart having far greater capacity when it comes to data input, I wasn't kidding. That is an actual reality. And when you cleanse your body, you always go from the heart, no matter what. You first go to the heart, then you take the energy all the way down to your other chakra centers and you cleanse them through the power of your thought consciousness, just by verbal words, which is a vibration. And then you send them up through the same chakra centers and cleanse all the way to the top of the head. And then you say, I am an open book for knowledge. And go from there.
Beautiful. Well, there you have it. You know what to do now.
Yes.
Thank you, Kuntarkis.
You're very welcome, Michael.
And the next episode is likely going beyond the fourth dimension. Is that right, Kuntarkis?
That is true. And that is one that you don't want to miss if you're a minded, thinking person about what is out there. Because I've said this many times before, but there are hundreds and thousands of universes, as there are hundreds and thousands of different life forms. I have come into contact with many. And we always say, but where's the proof? The proof is in your consciousness. As you develop your consciousness by knowing your heart, you can make contact to inner worlds as well as outer worlds. So it's up to you, but it's a good idea to listen to Beyond the Fourth Dimension.
Sure. Yeah, I know that kind of stuff. I love that stuff, talking about the fifth dimension and beyond. It's just so cool. Well, thank you. And yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. My name is Michael Yon, and stay tuned for more.